me apologize to everybody out there, but it's for whatever reason updated the software on this. I want to say twice, and I still get these write errors when it's recording. Like I'm afraid to listen back to it because I feel like it just drops, and I don't know why. And I have to keep an eye on it while we're recording because it tends to happen just in the first, couple minutes. Yeah. But anyway, we were going to do a movie, but it wasn't really podcast worthy, I guess, in our opinion. So instead, we're doing a dailies review. And I was just commenting on previous recording that anything that's news in a podcast kind of becomes old news if you listen to it later, but that's just the nature of the beast. But the most recent bundle out of dailies / variety / deadline. That's exactly what I was looking for. Wow, you pulled out. Good job.
Thank you. We've been doing this for a little while, so I kind of know you. I knew what you were going to say.
Yeah. What was the other one that I told you about that's not around anymore? They referenced it once on Entourage. Oh, Defamer. Do you remember Defamer?
Nope.
That was it was a web service, but it was entertainment news, and then it became this kind of art house info site, and then gone.
I've never heard of that.
Never heard of Defamer?
Nope.
We'll look it up on Wikipedia later.
Okay.
I'm ladies and gentlemen.
Okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay for right now. I'm just gonna keep checking the meter. There were a number of things that came out in the down to 3 subject of the most recent dailies. I'll tell you what. How about I'm guessing because you read through this faster than I did. I'm betting that you went straight into development.
No, I start at the top and I read down. I just scan it, and if something looks more interesting than scanning, I stop and look at it more. Okay,
so do you remember how we commented the last couple episodes about how like everything is shifting in Hollywood, and there's going to be all these shakeups?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what everybody's talking about now, and some of the big hitters are saying that there's going to be between 5 and 6 key players in the next 2 to 3 years.
I can't believe that. I mean, I can kind of believe it, but I also at the same time kind of can't. Like, when I was looking at this and reading this, I was thinking, wow, like, we were just talking about this.
But you know what? Like, this, I've heard it by scientists before who say that human beings' ability to predict the future is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, like, figuring out when things are going to transpire are way off. Like, if you look at, when they made Back to the Future, we were supposed to have flying cars like 10 years ago.
Right.
And give me a break, not even close.
Mm-hmm.
But
although I don't know, that Tesla that looks like a garbage can, I feel like it could sprout wings and fly. I saw one of those down the street today.
I saw one of those on the highway. God, it's so weird looking.
So weird looking.
Have you seen that meme going around about how there's a symbiotic relationship between the Cybertruck and the flatbed trailer?
No.
They have to tow it all the time, so you always see it on top of the flatbed, and it's that's how it gets around.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but who knows? Like, there's entrepreneurs out there, and new projects and new companies spring up, and then if you look back to when we were kids, there was 4 or 5 big studios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, this as a headline it's almost not really a headline, because studios are have been in some degree or some fashion replaced by streaming entities, or the studios develop their own streaming component
Yep.
And then other people come in and beef it up or consume it or whatever. There's it's just, everything out there is constantly in flux now.
Really seriously.
You know, like the people are getting bought, or like as I'm reading through these about who's buying who, half of these names I've never even heard of.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too.
Like, okay, so that's not just me. Like,
no, I was like, who are these people? I don't even know. I mean,
okay, so in the Who's Saying What, they get comments from 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, who runs Endeavor, the big agency. I'm not sure if I'm going to butcher his name. Tony Vinicura, who runs Sony Pictures, and David Zaslav from Warner Brothers. Those guys I've heard of, but as we get further into our commentary, there's a bunch of smaller production companies or finance companies where I'm like, I've never. Who are these folks?
I haven't heard of any of those names that you just mentioned, or the smaller ones. The only one that I'm familiar with is Disney.
Well,
and Bob Iger.
You've heard of Sony Pictures. You've heard of Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, not just the name of the person.
You've heard of Endeavor.
Yeah.
𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 homage. Jeremy Piven's character, Ari, is based on 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐸𝐿, who started Endeavor.
Oh, thank you for explaining. Okay, got it. Yep. Okay.
Let's see what everybody is saying here. Hollywood's heavy hitters are pulling out their crystal balls, and boy, do they see storms ahead, many predicting a whirlwind 2-year period that could reshape entertainment. 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐸𝐿 says 5 to 6 major streaming players will survive 2 to 3 years. That's not really all that surprising. I mean, Netflix is totally going to be number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
I think Paramount's going to kind of crumble. And,
okay.
I mean, honestly, like, how is Disney Plus doing? I mean,
I think it's doing okay, but sometimes I think it, what did you say? Influx, like it goes up and down, because sometimes I feel like it's doing okay on its own, and then other times I feel like they're linking other streaming services with them to draw in more customers. Does that make sense?
You could either do that or
like I would think that Disney would do fine on its own.
They're actually kind of Disney as a whole is kind of like they lost a big percent of their stock price.
True, yeah.
And what's his name is Iger is looking for another. I don't know if you saw that, he's looking for yet another replacement, because I guess his search like 3 months ago or whatever was kind of fruitless.
Yeah, I read that and was surprised by that, actually.
David Zaslav predicts much fewer players in the market when the dust settles. Well, I mean, that's whenever there's a shakeup. That's whenever there's a shakeup in any business. Like, people are going to either get consumed or, fall. They can't compete and they fall away. I mean, that's
how it's going
I
to
don't
go.
want to say it's not news, but it's like whenever there's a transition, like with the incoming AI and computation speeds are ramping up, and the number of projects that are being output now is kind of exploding. And you have these, who's the one that we keep hearing about? Tubi. That's kind of that, like if you make your own movie, you can take it to Tubi and sell it. And
that I didn't know.
Yeah, you can just go to Tubi and they have like they have a subscription model. I think it's an ad-based model. Like if you start pulling a lot of eyeballs, and they put more and more ads in your movie, and then you get a larger cut of that. But your movie has to draw eyeballs there. So they can put ads in it. So like
that's kind of neat.
Like 2 years ago, or a year ago even, I'd never even heard of it.
Tubi?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how long I've known of it, but I don't know how long I've heard from it or whatever.
And like
I've known about it for a while, but I have to say I haven't used it all that much. I think we might have watched a movie or two.
No, we
on
did.
It,
we watched a couple. It's not like I'm
sorry, it's not my first choice.
No, that's all right. But like for someone who's a independent producer, if you want to get something out there and you have no choice of getting distribution through a major studio, Tubi is one of these great ways that you can get your project seen. And they have a real depth of product or things to choose from, because like just about any, I mean they do have a selection process, but if I think it's a lot easier to get something on there than it would be to get distribution or financing through like Warner Brothers or through Paramount.
Oh yeah, I think so.
What are some of the what's already cooking? Oh, this was interesting. You know who Larry Ellison is, right? Of Oracle.
No, I don't know who that
Oracle
is.
was the big database company, like when in the 90s. Oracle was, I want to say their database, but huge company.
Okay.
Enormous. And now apparently he's set to own most of Paramount by the end of next year.
You're getting confused with Skydance Media, or is that the same thing?
No, that's Paramount. Larry Ellison set to own most of the company by 2025.
Oh, together with Sky
together
Media.
with, I'm sorry, you're right.
No.
So it's not just him, it's Skydance. You're right. Okay. Warner Brothers Discovery, stock dropped. Okay. I flipped that with Disney. Warner Brothers, stock dropped by 70%. Since Warner Brothers and Discovery joined forces in 2022, they might sell off CNN to pay off the debt.
I saw that and I was like, whoa, this is really serious.
Yeah. That's been part of their stable for, God, as long as I don't know.
Forever.
Has it? Because
I remember honestly, I would assume so, only because I don't know otherwise. But
I know when Ted Turner started CNN, I was in like grade school or beginning of high school.
So I think it could have been, a really long time.
I'll tell you what, while I'm going through these, just do a quick search to see when Warner Brothers picked up CNN.
Okay.
Bob Iger at Disney is back on the hunt for a successor again. Over at Fox, Lachlan Murdoch says they're ready to buy. They'll keep investing in Tubi. What do you know? And they're also looking to shop for other companies. Well, Fox is on a buying spree. So this was interesting. Chick-fil-A.
I was cracking up. I was like, Chick-fil-A, and what does it say there? Like,
they're
Chick-fil-A, do you know they make chicken and now they're going to do this?
Yeah, the chicken place. They make their own TV shows. I'll bet you $1 bazillion are going to have a heavy Christian tilt.
I'm rolling my eyes. You can't see it, but...
Yeah. And this is the other thing that was interesting. Sundance Film Festival is considering a move from Park City.
I know.
Did you see where they're looking at?
Oh, yes, I saw. And I do know that, Cincinnati, Ohio.
I
would be really excited if it was like in our backyard, so to speak.
Right down the road.
But like Cincinnati, Ohio is in the running for
seriously,
Sundance
film is known,
festival.
That is known for, like, if you go to, it's such a
How could you take it away from Park City?
It's such an event. You go out there to see and be seen. You're in the mountains. People go skiing. They go, there's a pre-ski, cocktails out by the mountains. I mean, that's a setting for movies.
100%. And movie stars and movie producers and actors and actresses, director, everybody goes.
It's been there since he started that in 75 or when
it was a long time. Yeah. Oh, Robert Redford, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as long as I've been interested in movies, that's what Sundance has represented. It's been in the mountains. And now I guess the Arts Council or something in Cincinnati has over $1 billion they're trying to throw at it to get it moved.
I can't believe that.
Let me see if I can find this bit here. Okay, here we go. Sundance Film Festival has narrowed its future home search to 3 cities: Park City, Salt Lake City, where it's already at, Boulder, which would be, it's kind of a bummer if they would move to Boulder, but like it's still in Colorado, or it's in that area, because Park City is Utah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Cincinnati. That's just,
Are we sure that Boulder's in Colorado?
Boulder's in Colorado.
There's also Boulder. Oh, that's Boulder City. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
Are you thinking Nevada?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. The decision coming in early 2025 will determine where the festival lands at after 2026. Each finalist offers unique appeal. Utah brings familiar terrain and Olympic-ready infrastructure. Why does that matter?
Yeah, I did wonder about that. I love the Olympics, as we know, but what does
It
that
moves
have
around
to do
every.
with? And it's not a sports event, right? Am I looking at this the wrong way?
I don't understand. Like whoever wrote this, I just don't see what the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, aren't in Park City every year. They're in there once every maybe 40 years.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't see what that has to do with anything. Other than it's like a destination for another big event, but it's not a consistent yearly event, which is, I don't even know why it's thrown in there. Cincinnati surprises with its growing film scene. Did you know anything about this?
No, I was very surprised.
And cultural investments. The stakes are high as Sundance aims to honor its past while securing its future, with Boulder offering a $1.5 million incentive and Cincinnati touting a $1.6 billion arts impact. The race is on.
I have to say, reading those words, I'm very interested. I would like to be there or visit to see what the arts impact means exactly. I understand what it means, but I guess to see it in.
I wonder if they're putting up theaters or if they're putting up like museums or what. I think this warrants a little further reading.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that?
I did. I think the information you're looking for is that it was acquired in 1996.
Oh yeah, that is forever.
Okay.
I was in college when that happened.
Yeah, when I saw it, yeah. So.
God, can you imagine if they sold that? I can't.
That would be huge.
Who would take that over? I can't even.
I don't know.
Like if it's some investment group, they're going to have their eyes on the on some kind of revenue model for it. So like even now, like everybody gripes that CNN is very left leaning and Fox is very right. Wouldn't that be interesting if it was bought by somebody? If they converted the politics of the network?
It would be interesting.
Like if it wasn't a left leaning channel anymore.
People would be talking about it differently.
Oh wow, that'd be. You're a CNN fan. You're like, they got sold to a right-wing super PAC, right?
It would be interesting. I just couldn't believe that I was reading those words because that just was what's the word I'm looking for? But amazing to me. Wow, I couldn't believe it. CNN. That's a big deal.
Let's see. What else? There's Charter Spectrum they worked up a carriage deal, and I could go into that, but it's television, and quite honestly, I don't care about TV.
It's complicated.
At
least to me,
it's complicated because nobody understands how TV billing works.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're shedding subscribers every year. So it's almost like they're fighting over a ever shrinking pie. It's almost like I don't want to investigate it because it's kind of a dying industry.
Yeah.
I think I told I don't own I have a television, but I haven't turned it on in 15 years. What did
I didn't grow up watching TV, so I can't. I don't, and I still don't watch TV, so very rarely will it be something on that I want to see.
What jumped out in development that was of interest?
Well, definitely, it said Judd Apatow is set to direct. Apatow,
yeah.
Set to direct, and Steven Spielberg will be producing Cola Wars, a Sony film about the 1980s battle between Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
Do you remember the Pepsi challenge?
On that. I don't.
So
think I do because this is a little bit before me, but I'm like very fascinated. Like that would totally be very interesting to me. I mean, I read about it.
You know about the Pepsi challenge, though?
I saw it. Mm-hmm.
So like people, it was a TV ad, and in the ad somebody would walk up to like a little table outside, like a lemonade stand, or something like that, and there'd be a guy going, "What do you prefer, Pepsi or Coke?" And they say Coke, and he's like, "All right, do you think you can tell the difference?" They say, "Yeah," and they pour each cola, but you can't see which one it is because the can is covered by a sheath, and everybody, at least in the ad, picks Pepsi, but they think it's Coke, and then they pull off the sheath, and it's like, "Oh, well, I guess I like Pepsi now."
Oh, no, I did not realize. Thank you very much for explaining. Okay, I thought I knew.
So that was like a Hallmark ad. That was Pepsi's big, like, right hook to Coke. But, the movie I'm sure is going to go well more into this. Like, Coke ended up just steamrolling over, and has always steamrolled over Pepsi. I mean, they took over Christmas, for Christ's sake.
They really did. Since I have half of the polar bear collection from the Coca-Cola company in my mom's house.
Yeah, that was like the whole Coca-Cola and Santa thing. That's all a marketing gimmick.
Huge.
That's just a marketing gimmick. That's all it is.
But it's so worked. It's so.
Oh my God! That like nothing.
Very good marketing. Brilliant.
Did you see this thing about the Thomas Crown affair with Michael B.
I did.
Jordan?
I was just gonna broach that topic.
Michael B. Jordan, like black karate star.
Yeah. Where? How? I mean,
wait, that's him, or am I thinking about Michael Jai White? I know he's a karate guy. Is Michael?
No,
B.
Michael
Jordan?
B. Jordan's like
he's a stud. He's a
He was in like Black Panther and some independent movies, but like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been at People's Magazine Sexiest Man Alive before. Don't ask me, I don't agree, but that's just my personal opinion.
Nothing wrong with Michael B.
No, there's nothing wrong with you, not at all, but I'd like to know a little more about your set to direct, and star in the remake of this.
That I didn't see.
I didn't see that until just now. So this is very interesting to me because I have like,
this is the third
so many
version of it.
Questions, yet none. Like, yet no questions. That was really bad.
Did you see the Steve McQueen version?
I'm pretty sure I've seen them both.
So I did. I saw both of them, but honestly I preferred the Pierce Brosnan version.
I saw that one in the movie theater.
So did I. And did you know they brought was it Faye Dunaway? She was the therapist in the Pierce Brosnan version, but she was the primary Rene Russo's character in the first one.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Faye Dunaway or
Morgan
Fairchild?
Ooh,
look that up on IMDb.
I will. And actually, saying that I saw it in the theater, the second one in the theater. I didn't know at that time that it was the remake of another movie, or maybe I did, but even so, I wouldn't have looked into it as much as I might now, if that makes sense. Like, I just thought this is a great movie, and I think Pierce Brosnan was a really big actor at the time. So, or coming up really big.
No, he was I think he was just off of James Bond, so he had
that's
that
what it was.
Thing.
Yeah.
The rich, suave financier. It was an easy crossover from a secret agent.
Super easy, I'm sure.
Just the suits he wore.
Yeah, exactly.
And the suits and the
demeanor,
watches
yep.
and the, how he carried himself.
And pretty ladies around.
Yeah, it was a classy movie.
I really enjoyed it. I remember thinking this is a great movie. I really liked it.
What was it? Who was Dennis Leary was the detective. Just a fun movie, so it'll be interesting to see how he's gonna. And I've got no love or hate for Michael B. Jordan, but it's a classy property.
You got it, Dennis Leary.
I'm curious to see. I don't want it to get. I don't know. I think there's a lot of movies.
And Faye Dunaway.
It is Faye Dunaway.
It is.
Faye Dunaway, yeah. She was
psychiatrist,
very, very short in the very beginning.
Okay, that's why I don't remember.
Of the one for, like, he was, this is the worst podcasting because I start talking, I stop. In the Pierce Brosnan version, he's talking to someone, he's talking to his therapist at the very beginning of the movie, and that's Faye Dunaway.
Okay.
But Faye Dunaway was the primary love interest
in the first one. Okay. I don't actually know if I've seen the first one. Maybe I just think I have because I watched the preview.
I mean, they spent a lot of money on the just the set, like a lot of set pieces. Like he ran around on a catamaran, and I think they took over the New York. What's the Met? Mm-hmm. Is that where they were? They were in a big ass museum in New York.
Actually, yeah, they had to be in the Met. Mm-hmm.
Was that it wasn't the circular one?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so
I don't know what the circular one is.
It's at the
the Guggenheim. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, no, it wasn't.
So I'm interested to see that. That's probably not going to be out till late next year.
At least, yeah. But I am so interested. I'm very And I'm trying to look more into it, but there's not a lot about it.
Chris Messina and Damian Lewis have joined for World War II drama Pressure. You heard about that?
No, but I think we've talked about it before.
We have?
It sounds familiar.
So Damian Lewis was in Band of Brothers. He played Colonel Dick Winters. Mm-hmm. And he's also Axe from Billions. I've showed you clips from that. He was the red-haired tall guy.
Yeah, okay, I know exactly who he is.
That's who he is. But I think it's interesting. He's kind of like niching himself into World War II drama pieces. But he's going to play Montgomery, the British general, the British tank general during World War II, who always had kind of a butted heads with General Patton. I don't know. I am not
familiar, no.
Okay, well, Montgomery was pretty sure was a tank commander, and Patton was the U.S. tank commander, and they just butted. They were always trying to race to get to the next level of the front
before
first.
The other. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
I think, and for anyone who listens who's a World War II buff, I know that Patton tried to beat Montgomery into Sicily. I think something like that. But anyway. Chris Messina, Damian Lewis joined World War II movie Pressure as Irving P. Crick and Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery. Filming underway in the UK. Let's see here. Working title in Studio Canal's World War II drama thriller Pressure, about the build-up to the historic Normandy landings. This is an interesting take because this Crick guy... Mm-hmm. What's his name? Irving Crick is a meteorologist. And I remember hearing this in history class, that they had a real hard time deciding on the day to go because there was no consensus as to what the weather was going to be like. Mm-hmm. And this guy, Crick, U.S. meteorologist Irving P. Crick and Golden Globe Emmy winner Damian Lewis from Billions as legendary Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery. True story of Britain's chief meteorologist officer James Stagg, whose job it was to inform Supreme Allied Commander Dwight D. Eisenhower of weather conditions that would make or break their Normandy landing invasion. The complex decision-making was critical in the fate of World War II in the course of history. Anthony Maris from Hotel Mumbai is directing. Olivier Award winner David Hagg and Maris wrote the screenplay based on Hagg's critically lauded play, which explores the personal and military stresses on Stagg and how tensions grew between the teams with different weather forecasts for the date of proposed D-Day, which sounds fun. They made a movie about when to launch a war based on the weather, which seems like it could be boring or
it could be exciting.
Well, here's the thing. The film will concentrate on the pressure cooker of the decision making, but also capture the scale of the landings, which I think is before even seeing the movie, I think that's what's going to save it. I think it's going to be a lot of arguments for the first hour, and then the beginning of the invasion is going to be the giant epic component, which is going to hold people. But I think
a little like an Oppenheimer.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, like you're going to make a movie about people arguing about the weather.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's the.
Because honestly, it kind of like resonates with me, like in the morning when I get up and what clothes am I going to wear, because we live in Michigan and.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like based on whether or not we're going to invade an entire country on one particular
and you're going to make
day.
a movie about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I know. I see.
What else here? With only his trusted aide, Captain K. Summersby, played by Kerry Condon, will confide in, haunted by a catastrophic D-Day rehearsal. The final decision rests with Supreme Allied Commander Dwight D. Eisenhower. With only hours to go, the fate of the war and the lives of millions hangs in the balance. HODs include Director of Photography Jamie Ramsey of All of Us Strangers, production designer Daniel Taylor from True Detective, which I love. I showed you clips from that with Matthew McConaughey. Costume designer Lizzie Bracey from We Live in Time, and casting by Lucy Bevan from Masters of Air. Studio Canal is handling worldwide sales. Ron Halpern and Joe Neftelin will oversee for Studio Canal, and Anna Marsh, Ron Halpern, and Joe Neftelin aboard as executive producers. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care who they're repped by. That's, I'd see that. I'd see it in the theater. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be an endeavor to make a movie about weather interesting. I don't care if it does have to do with the D-Day landing. But that's why I'm not directing,
World War II dramas?
Yeah,
that's not your genre.
That's not my thing. You see this thing about 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐞?
I don't know who that is.
He directed a bunch of music videos.
Oh, thank you.
He's going to direct the Kiss biopic, Shout Out Loud.
I would give it a chance. I would watch it just to be amused. Because to me, it's amusing.
Yeah, I didn't get appreciate Kiss until I was older, but when I was a kid, they scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When they were all painted up, and I was 5, because I think the band started in 74 or in 73, and their first album was in 75, and that's when they really started they did an album every year, every other year, and then each one of them in 78, I believe I read, did their own, had their own album, their own individual album. Okay. But yeah, as a kid, they just...
I think they're still terrifying, to be honest, but it's the
music's fun.
Yeah.
The music's fun.
It's just the image, the
way
they look. It's
they look crazy.
It's crazy. It's so insane. I have an uncle who's a big fan.
I'd like to see that. That'd be fun.
I think it would be fun.
Rosamund Pike is in Thumbelite, which I didn't read anything about. It's a series, Silicon Valley series. I digress, though. What else jumped out at you?
Quite honestly, the biggest thing in development this week of or whatever this
info.
Thank you. Was the Thomas Crown affair. I don't really care about a lot of the other details.
Samara Weaving, Kyle Gellner, Kira Sedgwick, and John Grease are starring in the romantic crime thriller Carolina Caroline.
And I looked into it a little bit more, but I'm not familiar with what they're talking about, so it didn't really catch my interest.
That's exactly
Oh yeah?
I liked... Yeah,
those are some big names.
If I'm going to be honest, no offense to Kira Sedgwick, but I think her niece, or no, she's the niece of Edie Sedgwick, who was the primary model for what's his name? In the 60s with the white hair in New York, the factory, did the Campbell soup cans.
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol.
Her mom was?
I don't know. They're somehow related.
That's so cool.
I don't know if it's her.
I'll have to look that up. That's a fact I did not know
I
about.
guarantee you my friend Ryan Hill would be going bananas right now because
I love this detail.
My good friend, Ryan Hill. Mm-hmm. Sorry blowing you up on my podcast that nobody listens to, right? He has his mother's brother was a male model who took the moniker of Paul America, who was another one of Andy Warhol's models.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
You've heard Paul America.
Paul America, yeah.
That was Ryan's uncle.
That's crazy.
And
that's really crazy.
He, like a lot of models for
Andy Warhol,
they got on drugs and like their lives didn't go anywhere. And they didn't have ownership of anything that Warhol filmed or anything. He just kind of took advantage of these people. He was a dirtbag. He was a dirtbag and that, like, also kind of a flake.
I feel like I might have seen a movie about him, but I'm also thinking I'm getting confused with Yves Saint Laurent. But anyway.
He had, did you know that he made a movie called Empire, which was an 8-hour film about different angles of the Empire State Building. No talking. That was it. It was just different shots of the Empire State Building.
I honestly want to die right now in this moment, just a little bit.
Yeah.
8 hours?
Yeah.
8 hours?
I don't know if it was 8 or 3. It was some ridiculous amount of time. It was no talking. It was just shots of the building.
I mean...
But anyway, Semra Weaving, Kyle Gellner, 𝐃𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐿, and John Grice have been chosen to and set to star in the romantic crime thriller Carolina, Caroline, now filming in Kentucky. The film follows the story of a young woman, Weaving, who I don't recognize her, but she is a knockout.
Oh yeah, can I see her photo? Because I know who we're talking about, but...
Right there on the end.
Oh, that's not who I thought that was. Okay.
It follows the story of a young woman who skips her small town in search of her estranged mother, 𝐃𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐿, alongside the charismatic conman Gellner. On the run from the law, the duo leave a wave of crime and passion behind them as they hustle their way through the Southeast. That could be entertaining. The other one that was interesting was I don't know what 𝐸𝐵𝐿ite is.
I have no idea.
Yeah, those were the big ones. What else is going on? Stuff that's big in theaters right now. Killer's Game, the action comedy with Dave Bautista. I think that's the one where he's given the news that he's dying of cancer, but they mixed up his diagnoses, and everyone's trying to kill him or something. I don't know.
Oh, I think we saw a preview for this. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Oh, and Speak No Evil, that movie that James McAvoy got totally ripped for, but he's insane. Mm-hmm. And we saw the preview, and you're like, I don't want to see that.
No way. That looks
I'll tell you what, though, he looks... That's the second movie where he's been cast as somebody who's completely unhinged.
Yeah, he can really play it very well. Yeah. Very, very well.
And he used to be such a slight guy, and he's jacked in this. Mm-hmm. He is big.
Mm-hmm. I would skip ahead to the end of the streaming section.
Oh, yeah?
Where it says that things people are watching are things that are big right now. Yeah. It's Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter, a true crime documentary on Netflix. I almost started watching that the other day because I recently finished the Lacey Peterson story.
Oh, yeah?
And
the woman who, the guy, her husband did.
Yeah, killed her, murdered
put her in a barrel, right?
No, that was a different story. That's,
didn't they find
somebody.
her?
They did. So Lacey Peterson her husband killed her and her unborn child, and she was 8 months pregnant.
He didn't put her in a barrel and then dropped it in the lake? I thought that's
maybe happened. He put her in a boat. She was in a tarp. This is so gross. She was in a she was in a tarp, and then he put her in a boat and maybe weighted
it down.
Yes, weighted the tarp down, and no one could find,
because they couldn't find it for a long time.
months and months and months and months and months.
And then
he didn't act like he did anything. He was acting like all weird, but not like he had anything to do with it. He was like, just find my wife. We need to keep her picture out there and find my wife. You're totally guilty, from day one.
I think that was the thing, is like, as a victim, he just sucked it, or as a murderer, he was just the obvious, like, all arrows pointed to him. It's like, that guy totally did it.
Yeah. And then I think as it got closer, I mean, again, a little side tangent, sorry. But as it got closer to things, he like changed his outlook, and he started like run. He was getting prepared to like run from the law, because
didn't he like do something crazy? Like he changed his hair color.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like he
became like totally platinum blonde.
Yeah, and actually in the documentary, it looked like he made himself. I think it said he made himself look like, I want to say someone in his family, a relative of some sort. I can't remember the exact details because I don't want to get them wrong, but like a brother or somebody, and he had his ID with him. And so what was he planning to do with that? Like, it's very suspicious, but in a very like accusing, guilty way.
You know who he reminds me of? Is like, I don't remember hearing him talk, like the Peterson guy, but just his actions.
He didn't talk a lot.
Because he just seemed like he'd be dumb. And he seems like a bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't hear him talk a lot, but I knew he was a golfer and kind of every time I saw him, he was wearing khakis and like polo shirts and crap.
Yep.
You know who he reminded me of? Who's that dumb swim diver or Olympic diver? You know who I'm talking about. A guy who just, every time he'd open his mouth, he just sounded like he was, like, I'm trying to relay an insult that's not going to get me thrown off YouTube.
Ryan Lochte.
That guy. Oh God, like 6 cents, 6 cents short of a dime.
I know exactly who you meant when you
what
asked.
a knucklehead. Fucking turd burglar. Just absolute idiot. I don't know how in today's day and age, even before Facebook, you can conceive of murdering somebody and thinking you're going to get away with it.
I do not know. I have no idea.
There are so many people I would like to strangle, but I don't. Because I know there is no way on God's green earth that I'll ever get away with it. And there's people who are professional criminals who can't evade the law.
That is crazy to me. Don't ever get into that line of business or work or whatever you want to call it.
It's like, just use that as a way to solve any of your problems.
Okay, so back to the original.
How in the hell did we get on that subject?
Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter, a true crime documentary on Netflix right now, follows a mother's 10-year-old quest to uncover her adopted daughter's disappearance. It's directed by Ryan White and produced by Charlize Theron. Anyway, I might have to watch it.
Yeah.
Now.
You know what? We can double up on that. I'll watch that.
All right.
And 76th Emmy Awards, hosted by Eugene and Dan Levy. There's no real news on that. I just like that. I think those two just work really well together.
Oh, so well, and they're so great together.
Yeah, they're just kind of adorable together.
And I don't really watch them either, but I just think they are really cute. And
Have you ever watched Schitt's Creek?
I'd love to see. I tried.
Oh my God, it's great.
I tried.
You didn't like it?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that show.
I know a lot of people do. I tried and I could
show.
not. I was like, nope, this is not really for me. But I have to say that one of the
was it Moira? Was it just her behavior was so cringeworthy?
Actually, no, it wasn't her. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. I just didn't enjoy it at all.
Oh my god, I love that.
I just don't know. I tried. I like.
You know why it was short, and it was like they just became the butt of their own joke about how they were rich and powerful, and now they were just living in a
hotel. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I loved it. All right, we're gonna have to figure out a movie to watch.
Oh, for next time.
No, wait a minute. Killer Heat. What's this? It's on Prime. I'm gonna have to watch. Is there anything that's coming out in the movies that we have to go see?
At the moment, no, I don't think so. But 𝐿 is coming out
right.
like in a week or two.
Did you? This is all right. Sidebar. Did you see that bit about Coppola's being sued by someone?
I saw that today in the dailies. Yeah.
And then somebody made some claim that he put his hands all over a couple of the extras and kissed them and touched their ass. And he was like, I am not having any of this. And he's suing Variety.
For $15 million. And he wrote like an 8-page report about.
Like, this is all crap. And like I read through, this is not, okay, I'll be the first to admit, this is not Peter Jennings' first-class journalism, because I just read this article and I'm giving you snippets. But he hit Variety with a defamation suit for $15 million. And I think there's one girl who said that he inappropriately touched her and caused all this like emotional damage to her. And then there was another extra who was like, he was absolutely totally professional. I never felt uncomfortable at all. I don't think that's so. The extras aren't corroborating with one another, which is not. If you get a couple, especially females, within that pool who were like, yeah, he didn't do anything out of and this is a big movie for him. This is like,
well, and it's a huge name. I mean, it's not like,
well, it's not only that. I think that because like there's lots of big names out there, but like this has been his pet project for years and years and years, and now he's got all of this hype around it. And
I don't mean that if your name is Big or Little, it makes a difference. I'm just saying that having such a big movie, being who you are, like it could be really damning to your character, if like things came out. But at the same time, if people are saying, no, this isn't, I mean, are people lying?
It's all stories like these. Time will tell, because I think like with Harvey Weinstein, everybody in that town knew what a creep he was, and like the rest of the country is like shock and awe and clutch my pearls. But like everybody in town in Hollywood is like,
knew already.
That's like, why? I don't understand why this is a big story, because he fucked everybody and he was constantly raping people. I don't know that Coppola has that reputation. I've never heard that.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you'd hear whispers about that about Harvey.
Yeah.
And like you'd see portrayals of him like in other pieces of media where he had an insane temper. And like actually they did that on Entourage. They poked fun at him on Entourage. They tried to sell a movie to him, and then Vince and E backed out of the deal in the show. Yeah. And they were at a bar and Harvey went bananas.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be really interesting to see how this
plays out with his movie coming out.
Yeah, I'll bet you he's going to come up smelling like roses. I just don't. I'd be surprised if. I mean, like, you never heard anything about this on like any other picture.
No.
I mean, at least not yet.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Maybe we start women writing in from, back in The Godfather, he did all kinds of things to me on set, but I've never heard that.
Yeah.
So keep your ears peeled. What else haven't we covered? It's.
How long have we?
50. We're in.
Oh, yeah?
So yeah.
We're good?
I gotta eat.
Let me just look through real quick to see if there's anything else. Actually, I think we're at the end of the dailies. As it is. So
I want to see that trailer.
The middle one?
No, down right there. Yeah. Not now.
Yeah, no, I kind of thought about watching that too, because who is that?
I don't know. I can't tell behind the YouTube button, but it looks like.
I think it's Shailene Woodley.
I thought it was Michelle Moynihan.
Okay, well, we'll watch it later.
Well, all right.
We are not watching the Venom trailer later, by the way.
I have no interest in that movie.
Oh, thank goodness.
All right, that's it. We got to make shish kebab. Hugs and kisses. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.